Hello, brothers! I found you in the next podcast. Today, we will discuss the Scout movement with the best leader from the Czech Republic. I was in the Erasmus program in Zlin and I went to the center at the Scout Center in Zlin to see how it is organized. When I entered the center, from the first words, me and the leader understood each other extremely well, and he immediately offered to show me to the scouting center in Zlin. I became extremely good friends with him, and today I invited him to have a discussion about the scouting movement in the Czech Republic. Andrew, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello, Leonard, and hello, everybody.
Andrew, could you tell us something about yourself for the beginning?
Okay. About me, I'm 34 years old. I'm working in engineering industry here in Zlin, and I'm also leader of the scouting troop in our city. We are a team of about 6 leaders in our troop, and we have 15 kids in age between 8 to 15 years.
Okay, so Andrew, what is it like to be a scout in the Czech Republic?
Well, I think it's very about the society, about the team of people about you, about around you, friends. It's great to have such friends. You can meet people first time and you know them because you share same value, you have common experience, and so I think it's good that in Czech Republic we have quite good name in society, so it's nice.
Okay, so Andrew, how did you become a scout?
Well, first I read those books by Jaroslav Foglar. He was a writer in 30s to 80s in 20th century, and he wrote about his experience as scout leader. So I really like it because it was about adventure in nature, in forest and summer camps, and it was quite beautiful. So I founded some troop in our city, and I joined.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I was 12-year old. It's maybe
12 years old. Okay, so you're a scout for nearly 20 years.
yeah, more than that. Yeah.
Okay, please tell us about your evolution as a scout up to now.
Well, at first I was just a kid in the troop. We were boys troop, only boys was there. We were focused in LARP. It's called when fighting with wooden swords and fantasy and Middle Age and so. And also quite when I was older, it was about quite military program. We were learn to hiding and of course plays a game and such. So it was a reaction times for me. And when I was 16, I moved to another troop, and I start to be a leader in I was about 16, so it was like I prepared program for kids, but didn't work in bureaucracy and so. And when I was 20 years old, we found a new troop, which I am Scoutmaster today.
Okay. Now I want to tell you a funny incident from a camp. And after that, I think that you also have a funny experience from a camp, right?
Many of them, of course.
Of course. So I will go first. When I was 11 years old, I rafted on the Mureș. It's a river in Romania, with 20 other scouts. For those who don't know, the Mureș is a quiet river. It flows into the Danube. I spent 3 days on raft on the Mureș, and I crossed several rapids. It was one of the experiences, the hardest for my father. He is not a scout, and at one point we had a terrible rain. This experience with the rain is very funny if you ask me, because at the beginning it was like in the middle of the day. We sailed with the raft for like 8 hours, and at the end everybody wanted to swim in the river, and I was like, hey, let the first we must make the camp, prepare the fire, prepare the food, and after that we can have some fun. But nobody listened to me, and my father insisted that, hey, it never rains on the Mureș, so we don't have problems. Unfortunately for us, we kind of had fun for 3 4 hours, and after that we prepared, started to do the fire, and while we ate, and immediately after we ate at 30 minutes a 30-minute distance, very very bad rain came, and everybody was like, oh my god, I don't find my stuff. And the rain lasted for like one and a half hours, and at the end everybody went on the raft and basically wanted to sleep there. Unfortunately there wasn't enough space, and my father didn't find his sleeping bag, and I don't know if you know, Andrew, but the draft is made of wood.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he basically had to sleep on the wood
Oh.
of the raft. Yeah, I know it was a very bad experience, but we still have to this day about it, because he first told me that it's not going to rain, and I told him that this is the scout way to first prepare your necessary things, and after to have fun. He told all his friends about the nightmare he floated on the Mureș. So, well, I mean, it was funny for me, but for him, it wasn't so funny. Okay. What's your funny experience on Andrew?
I'm thinking about something. When I was, I don't know, about 20, and we start to making our first camps for kids, for our own kids. We just did this LARP stuff, fantasy team.
Yes.
in our summer camp, and in one activity it was a whole camp. It was one story about something, something fantasy. It was they fought against some evil necromancer. And they had to go to the cemetery, which was a place we built in the forest near the camp, like,
Yes.
I don't know, 1 kilometer. And they should go there in the night and make some ritual.
Okay.
And one of our friend, he masked as a zombie with sword and just fantasy, necromancer, and we buried him in the ground with some leaves and stuff on him, so he couldn't be seen. And when the kids came there and start the ritual, he came to life from the grave. He jumped out of the hole, and kids there were like crazy, because it was so shocking moment. And we were in camp like 1-2 kilometers away, and it was loud screaming from the forest. We were laughing really hard.
Yeah, but I still can't imagine how terrified they must be.
Yeah, I think for them it was one of the experience they will remember to the end of their lives, because it was so intense.
Okay, now I'm going to share the video I made at your local.
Yeah.
You know it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
I wanted to play on the background while we talk for others to see. Okay. So have you participated in any special camp? Like, I don't know, something like a jamboree or something?
Well, me personally, I was in a Jingi Jamboree, It was Sweden national jamboree, but it was open for international participation, and it was they're preparing for a world jamboree. And it was biggest jamboree I were. It was about 20,000 people there. Of course, I was in our Central European Jamboree in 2006. I was in service background, and also some small things, but Jingi Jamboree and those Orbis in 2006, it was biggest in my experience.
I understand. Just that Jamboree was so special.
Well, I mean, I was in many
Camps,
different occasion. Like I was part of the Europe Voluntary Service in 2005 or 6, I think, and I came on many small weekend gathering, but I think the biggest experience for me was the Jamboree in Sweden. It was
okay. So this was your biggest experience that you had.
Yeah.
So I have a very hard question to say. If you're Baden Powell and could improve something concerning Scout, what would you like to improve?
Well, it's hard. I think there is a lot of things to improve, of course, in our organization, but I don't think that it's about some central authority to say this is wrong. Let's say let's do something different. I think the general direction is very good, and I would not change anything right now.
So you will leave it just like it is.
Yeah, because I don't know in general in international organization, but in Czech Republic it's very liberal. So the troops can work as they want, and the central they just gave us tools to help us.
Okay.
And it's you have opportunity, you can do that, but you don't have to generally. So it's very so it's more about local team than about organization as the whole.
So you say that there is nothing wrong with what Baden Powell created, and but you also say that it's better to make it more liberal, right?
If you take it like that, I think when Baden Powell started the organization, it was more strict that I feel it.
Okay.
But in our country it's okay, and maybe in different countries it could be too strict. You have too many directions and rules. Maybe it's wrong, but I don't know. In our country, I think it's balanced.
Okay, no, but the question was to change the whole movement as in general.
Okay, no, I think that as general, its movement is quite all right, and I mean it's more than 100 years. It's working and it's thriving, so I think it's proof of concept that it's all right and it shouldn't be changed in general.
Change in any way. Okay, are young people like teenagers? From the Czech Republic active in the Scout movement?
Well, it's biggest challenge for us to keep our kids to going on with the organization, and we motivate them to take a lead, to participate in leading of troops, because for us best way is when people from 15 to 20 years are working with kids. For me, I'm in age where my role should be just support and maybe some mentoring and such a thing, but ideally it's when kids between 15 maybe 14 it's individual, and because there is no age gap between kids in the troop and the leaders. If they are, I don't know, 18s, they can talk about same thing. They have similar experience, because I am mostly in age of their parents, So it's the idea is that leaders which work with kids, with making program and there are as in the same age as possible. So yes, young people are active. We will be likely more of them, but I think it's all right. We have thousands of volunteers in this teenage age, so I think it's in the good way.
Okay, just so you know, I asked this as here in Romania, the scouts are not so known to popularity,
I see. Yeah.
Whereas you said a little bit more strict.
Well, it's like in our organization, maybe 20 years ago, it was pretty same. Because the organization wasn't really popular among youngs. So, of course, parents gave their kids to the troops because they wanted for them, some activity. But to be scout, you say in class you are a scout, it was like, it wasn't really prestige. But it changed because our central organization started some PR activity to tell, and it was also that in 19th, after communists fall down, we start organization, but it was quite dusty. It was like they using old ways to do things, and we had to modernize our program. Not like it's 1940, but we have to find a way to make our program more today.
To bring it to the 21st century.
Yeah, and it changed both in troops and both this image of organization for public. So now mostly it's like if you say I'm scout and you are like 15, 16 years old, people around you, they will say, oh, it's cool, that's nice. So it's quite good in this area.
Well, what I didn't see at you in your center, I saw that your scouts don't wear a scarf. How so?
Well, we don't wear them on regular basic weekly meetings. It's something we wear in our summer camps when there is some,
activity
in the city maybe. So we take them, but not for regular weekly meetings.
No, again, here's a big difference between Romania and the Czech Republic movements. We always use them. Whenever we meet at Scout, we have to take our scarves.
Oh, it's really different then.
Yes, very different. How many Scouts do you have in your local center?
Oh, hard to tell. I have to count for a little. About maybe over 100 at least, maybe 150 in this particular one scout center. We have 3 buildings, so and around 200 people.
Okay, so there are quite a lot of scouts.
Yeah, and it's just one of 3 organizations in our city.
Okay,
it's about maybe 500 scouts in whole city.
500 scouts in the whole
Yeah,
city?
yeah,
Oh my God, 500. That's a big number. That's actually half a thousand.
yeah. It is.
But how do you manage to keep all of them in line?
We don't.
You don't keep
Uh,
them in line. You let them do
um,
whatever they want.
yeah, yeah. Basically, that's true. I mean, uh, every troop has scoutmaster. I'm scoutmaster of my own troop, of course,
Okay.
and his responsibility
Okay.
to lead the troop,
Okay.
to sure that everything is okay in terms of security and stuff, but we don't have some direction about what program to do with kids. We
Mm-hmm.
have all liberty to do what we want to focus, and every troop is different. Every troop is different. They focus on different things, and I think it's quite good because if some kid doesn't like one troop,
Mm-hmm.
they can try some different approach, and it could be better for him. So I
Mm.
think it's a good thing.
I was with you and you showed me the center. How did you manage to have such a beautiful, big, and well organized center?
Well, uh, it's not even like center. It's we call it klubovna, like
Okay.
clubhouse.
Okay.
It's just several rooms in, and it was given by city
Okay.
council. I think that we have great support from authorities, from
Mm-hmm.
city council, from Ministry of School and
Mm-hmm.
Education, and it's like building was given us. It's rented from the city. We
Oh.
don't pay a rent, but it's not ours, and there are real scout centers in different cities, and it's not that fancy like some different place in our
It
country.
it's not fancy, but at least you have it. You have
Yeah, but it's a great
yeah,
place for us because every troop has own room. It's
yeah,
very convenient, and so I think it's good place,
yeah.
and we just were provided by city.
Okay, but how did the idea came to put one team in one room or two teams in one room? How did you think at the idea to put a team of scouts in a room? Like to say to a team of scouts, hey, this is your room.
It was like, I don't know, it just happens. For us, it was when we start our troop, there was free room after one troop which ends. So we just it's heritage for us,
Mhm.
and it was like, okay, there is free room, and you can have it, and it's our room.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
it's like tradition, and it just happens.
Okay, so it was basically the moment of the idea that came.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't, let's say, a designed thing from the beginning.
No, it was just we had this building, and in the beginning it wasn't. We just repaired the first part,
Okay.
and the second part was like non-habitable, and then we joined with some another local organization, and they came to us because their building wasn't very fit,
Mm-hmm.
and so we repaired rest of the building. It's the part
The
uh,
second part, yeah.
it's the second part where the girls were. uh, when I was kid, that part was just storage place,
Okay,
and
so
place where we played football, but
oh,
it
oh,
was empty.
okay, so this building is as old as you.
Definitely. It was some storage when there is hospital
Okay.
behind the fence. There is big area of the hospital, and when they in 80s, when they building some hospital buildings,
Mhm.
so they built this storage uh, because it was some place, and like around 2000 it was empty, and the city provided to our organization, so we just repair it and we use it since then.
Mhm. I understand. Okay. When do you usually have patrol meetings?
um, in our troop it's Wednesday 16:30 to 18.
To 18. Okay. But why didn't you choose the weekend?
uh, well, at weekend we going to we can call it adventures.
Okay.
It's and we have this place, some cottage, I would say,
Okay.
in the woods, and we usually going there for the
Okay.
weekend from Friday to Sunday.
Every weekend?
No, it's just like once in 2 months
Once in 2 months. Okay.
in average.
Okay, on average. Okay. So you usually you always have the meetings on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you preparing for a camp right now?
Sure.
Sure. What it's called like?
uh well, next year
Next
we planning to you mean summer camp?
summer camp, yeah.
Yeah, we're planning to do Witcher.
To do Witcher.
Yeah, it will be thematic. We're going to some place every year. It's like about 40 kilometers from Zlin.
Okay.
Uh, it's beautiful place. We have Indian stand,
Yes.
TP,
DP.
and we sleep in them. We have, military kitchen or military tent for
Okay.
kitchen and dining room. Also, we have stream there, river, small river,
Yes.
creek. Yeah, uh, we can buff them, but it's not that big. And every year we have a different topic,
Topic.
different
Okay.
theme of the camp. This year it was Vikings,
Vikings.
and
Okay.
next year it will be Witcher.
Witcher. Okay. And when does it take place?
Uh, mid summer. It's like
Somewhere
uh,
around July.
yeah, end of July,
End of
start of August.
start of August. Okay. How did the scouts meet during COVID-19?
Well, it was different in every troop. They have some difficulties during pandemic because there was some lockdowns,
Yeah.
and we weren't able to do anything. And for us, it was really difficult to make some online activity. So there was problem that kids in our troop, they lost the bonding with our troop and with
Mhm.
the with friends from troop, and
Yeah.
a lot of them, they don't continue,
No, this.
so we
Oh.
have to find new kids. But I mean, after pandemic, we came to school and we came to the class, and
Mm-hmm.
we said, okay, guys who want to be scout, and we have like 12 new guys
12 new
in
guys.
troop.
Okay.
So it was for our fresh start. I think most important is that we keep our team of leaders
Okay.
during
Yeah.
pandemic, because you can find new kids,
Yeah.
uh,
You
but
always find new kids.
you have to have somebody to lead them.
Yeah.
It's most important for the troop to continue the
Uh,
work.
Okay. What was the last camp you and your team probably attended, and what it was, and what does it had as a theme?
It was Vikings. I spoke it before.
Oh, the
It was
Viking. Oh,
this summer.
you didn't attend. I thought that you, I don't know, have any school summer or something. No school summer. Winter school or something. You go in another place, a mountain or something like that.
Oh, we don't do things like that. Our
Oh,
troop.
oh,
There's troop which are going to mountains or some river or something, but we don't. We have summer camp every year for 2 weeks, and our weekend expeditions
okay.
time to time.
And these are the only expeditions you make outside. I don't know. The only expeditions you do.
It's as we talked, we going to some cottage around city. We don't do something big like went to another country or something.
Oh, you don't do this type of things. So if, for
It,
example, I will invite you to Romania for a summer camp, you wouldn't come.
well, maybe we will.
Maybe.
We can. We don't do that only.
Oh,
It's more like we have young kids.
yes.
They are about 8, 9, 10 years,
Okay. Yeah.
many of them. So the program is conceived for them too.
Oh,
But of course, there's opportunity when the kids have about 15 years, then they can participate. Okay, in many different things, our organization supplies them, so they can go to some international expedition. They have some programs for future leaders, education. They have some special occasions for people from 15 to 20 years for fun, some big games and big adventures. And it's like the troop. It's basic for kids, so they can meet their friends every week and go for some trip for weekend.
yeah.
And then when they are older, they can choose their own way.
What future plans do you have for the Scout Center?
Well, uh, I mean, about building, we want to have new one because we want to have our own.
Okay.
So we're planning to find a place and build some new building. And for organization, for troops,
Yeah.
I think for us, it's very important find young people active who want to be scout leaders too. And I think, as you saw, there are plenty young people who are really into. So I think future will be bright. I believe in that.
Okay. You are sure that you are going to do okay in the future?
Yeah. I think most troops we have will be okay. So, and it's most important thing to carry on for future
Yeah.
generation of scouts.
Yeah. I like your positive thinking.
Thank you. I think it's whole organization in Czech Republic is good shape. Of course, we have some things to do.
Yeah.
There's always things to do, but in general, we are in good shape, and I think it will be all right.
Okay, and I promise this is truly the last question. I have a very important
Okay.
question that came to mind right now. Andrew, why don't you take the 15 children, the 15 troops, and bring them to foreign camps?
Well, I think it's more difficult to organize such event. I mean, different troops, they do it sometimes. We just don't, but it's possible for my successors.
Okay.
That one day maybe they will. I'm glad they are able to prepare our summer camp. Not mention some another activity, but sometimes I know the troops from Czech Republic doing such a stuff. It's possibility, of course.
It's a possibility. So you wouldn't immediately say no to such occasion.
Well, now we have to focus on different things.
Okay, so this is all the questions for today's podcast. Thank you, Andrew, for your help.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here with you.
Do you have any message for Romanian Scouts?
Well, I think just enjoy your time in troops, in Scout organization, because those experience are most value you can get from it. You can find friends, you can find adventure, and it's most important to do such a thing when you are young, especially. So enjoy life and your organization.
Thank you, Andrew, for your participation.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.